G'day folks, no fancy videos here, no pulling off stupid faces and making lame jokes. I wish I could recreate all the experiments that I've done here to show you just how easy some certain parts of boring with a Forstner bit is, even though on its own it's quite impossible. It's very hard to bore with a brace. But I don't have time. I need to get my own stuff done. So what I want to share with you is how to insert this timepiece into the hole. So obviously this is a scrap. This is my testing scrap, and you can see there are 4 different holes. So let's have a look at what the issue is first. The back here with the rubber seal, right, is supposed to be at 35 mil. So that's 35 millimeters, right? That's what it's advertised at, 35 millimeters. And as much as this planet likes to think that when something's advertised it is as such, well, it isn't. Like I've shown with screws in the past, none of them are truly metric. And this thing here isn't metric either. So on my calipers, it came to 1.4. So we're looking at 35.56 to be exact. Who makes Forstner bits at 35.5? No one. So when you convert that into fractions, it comes to 1 3/8. So with 1 3/8, to be honest, I'm sure they do sell a Forstner bit at 1 3/8, but they will sell you the bad quality ones. Okay. So this product here, if it ever comes in view, it's called Fish. Now, I don't like to advertise products for companies and give them free advertising. But when I come across a product that is that good, you can't help but, mention where you got the product from. And this Forstner bit is so sharp that you can do it. You can bore a hole with a brace. So there it is there. Those sawtooth ones that you find in your local hardware store. Well, local hardware sells nothing. In your select woodworking stores, even though I think they're expensive for something that's rubbish. Yes, they will work on your drill press, but eventually they'll become, they're not that sharp even out of the box. So, if you're going to use them all day, every day, well, within a week, they're going to be blunt as. And I don't know, I've tried sharpening them and not with much success. So these things here, you can sharpen them, but I'm not going to say that's my strong area. And they're not cheap to buy. Each one is definitely not cheap to buy. But that's why they're so good. You know, they're expensive because they're good. So this is here, this hole here I've bought at the standard 35, right? And this, right, it's the reason why it's a loose fit is because, see, this couldn't fit in there at all. So then I thought maybe if I chamfer the edges, then it'll, you know, allow it to seat, and then the rubber will hold it in place. But it's doesn't sit in there properly, and it's loose, right? So what's this one? Oh yeah, this two here, okay, I did it with this thing. So this is an antique. It's made by Irwin, right? They're very, very good. I'm not going to say they're very bad. They're very good, but they're not accurate. So I try to get 1 3/8. It's definitely not going in because that's too small. This one here, what did I do? I set it just a bit too made it a bit too large, you know, and it's too big now, right? But you can also see here that this bit leaves a very ugly looking bottom. And even if this was the right size, you know, you couldn't leave a bottom like this. How are you going to, I know it's being covered up, but then when the customer, or anyone really, goes to pulls this out to change the battery from underneath, they see this ugly looking thing. Now, some people may not give it done, but I take pride in my work, and, you know, I don't want to see that. So that's just awful. So what I did to clean that up, right, is that I used the Forstner bit, and then I just leveled the bottom there, right? So that's how you can clean that up. Now here is the correct size hole. And she fits in perfectly. So this shouldn't, even though I'm nervous, just gonna do this now. This is actually, I'm doing it for the first time. Okay? It shouldn't fall out. That's the purpose of those rubber seals. It's supposed to be a friction fit. And to be a nice flat bottom, there's no gaps, no nothing. So, how did I get that? Rather than fart-assing around with this, because that's all you're doing, you're just chasing your own tail with that, is I bored a hole with the Forstner bit. Then I used the Dremel, and I went around like that. And I didn't go crazy with it, you know, you've got to exercise some patience. And it didn't take that long either for those that are impatient and they constantly scream out, time is money. Time is money when you F things up and then you throw this in the bin, that's money, you know. Time is not money when you're actually doing something properly, and it's taking a bit of time to do it. So I went around like that, and I kept on going around and stopping, and at intervals stopping, and then making a test fit. And when she fit, that's it, you stop. So you can see, first of all, how clean this hole is. Look at the edges. That's beautiful. Now that's straight off that. Okay? So one more point. And this is what actually got me the prize with popular woodworking. To bore on its own, it's pretty darn hard, right? On the sawtooth one, you can say it's impossible. On this one, it's very, 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 very hard. And the reason is because there's just a point there for a spur. It's not a spur. You need to have threads, right? You need to have threads so it can draw it into the wood. So what I do is that I use a drill bit, right? One that's large enough for this Forstner bit to bottom out onto the wood. Once that bottoms out onto the wood, and depending on how deep you drill into the wood, will determine how deep you can bore with that Forstner bit. Okay? And one guy, he commented on the channel, and not like many people comment, I don't know, for whatever reason, but when I made that for these legs here, he goes, I didn't understand what you're talking about. I don't know how to explain these things, and I can't just stop everything and then redo everything just for this video. Go back, listen to it again and again and again until it clicks. So that's all I can tell you. So thanks for watching. I hope you did understand and you did follow what I said. If not, go ahead and try it yourself, and then learn at your own pace through trial and error. Thanks for watching.